Hi, I'm Charlotte from Freezer Meals 101.
I'm Christy, and today we are talking about
Bacon!
Bacon wrapped everything.
Yes, we're doing bacon wrapped, like
marshmallows, bacon wrapped, puffed wheat squares, bacon wrapped. No, I got you. Okay, we went to supper club one time.
Oh yeah.
And the theme was bacon.
Yes.
And for dessert, the hostess made blondies. So it wasn't brownies, it's like a blonde cake with bacon in it.
That's true.
Bacon blondies. And I'm like, who puts bacon in a cake? Put bacon in your cake, folks!
They had like candied bacon, bacon wrapped pineapple, bacon.
Yes, everything. Bacon.
Oh.
Bacon.
It was,
bacon on the burger. That was a different time.
Yeah, that was a different time. But bacon extravaganza.
It was very good. It was a fun time. You should have a supper club.
Yes.
We talk a lot about supper club. We're neighbors. We're besties. I live a couple doors down if you don't know us. And we've talked about supper club before. In fact, we did an entire video on supper
our
club.
70s
If you
supper club.
Do you want to put one
Sure.
up there? We do talk about it a lot because it's a big part of our lives, and
so fun.
It's so fun, and it's not about the food, it's about the relationship, but a lot of it ends up being about the food in the end.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if you're going to have a cooking channel, then you're going to talk about food, and then supper club's going to come up, so.
It's true.
You know.
It's true.
We're making bacon wrapped things today for multiple reasons, but one is it's actually one of my daughter's birthdays today. And so in our house, our kids get to pick anything they want for their birthday supper. And they get kind of creative. They pick things that they know that are a lot of work. Not always, but like sometimes.
Sometimes.
Because like my husband learned to cook Thai food in Thailand, so he's good at it. But it requires going to like a specialty grocery store and getting the ingredients, and it requires like all day making the pastes and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, you bought a mortar and pestle. And
yes.
I'm like, what are you guys doing today? We're pounding paste. Yeah.
And so like they'll ask for things like that, or crepes, because I've got my crepe maker and it takes me a long, like we've got 7 kids. It's like a long time.
She stands there a long time to make crepes.
Like you gotta triple the batter, and then you stand there all day making the crepes. So they ask for things like that they know I'm not gonna make on a regular basis for them. Like they're not gonna ask for like spaghetti, because they know they're gonna get that like all the time.
Any day, yeah.
So they do tend to get a little creative. When they were little, they would do weird combinations. They'd be like, I want pizza and Kraft Dinner and alphagetti and pineapple. Like, that's a specific kid that asked for that.
That's really funny.
Like, sure. One of them wanted corn like 5 ways.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And so, they
And it was a little late in the year for corn, and you were having trouble. Or was it too early? When's his birthday?
February.
Oh, yeah. So, it was hard to find the corn.
Not a good time to find fresh corn. But they get creative, and some of them think for like weeks or months ahead to figure out what they want for their birthday supper. And so for this particular daughter, it's kind of a milestone birthday today, and so she really knew she could have like anything she wanted. And so she picked an appetizer night, and she gave me quite a list. And so it's gonna be like, she wanted charcuterie and sushi. I'm not making the sushi from scratch, I bought that. But she wanted buffalo chicken dip and cheese dip, and I think what else did I like, an olive boat, and but she wanted bacon wrapped, bacon wrapped lots of things, but specifically she asked for bacon wrapped water chestnuts. So we're doing bacon wrapped stuff today, and some of it is gonna go for her birthday supper tonight, and some of it is gonna go into both of our freezers for the holidays.
Christmas is coming.
It's so nice to have appetizers in your freezer. And I already have some, because the buffalo chicken dip's already done. Yes. And I was like, well, you might as well double or triple the recipe.
And then you have it. Because there's going to be more than one event.
Totally.
And I don't know if you know this about Charla. She's the appetizer queen. In fact, she used to have a website. It still exists, but she hasn't run it for a while. It's called the Appetizer Chick. It's so cute. But
I sold it because I was
too
using
busy.
it. Yep.
But it was like, you come here and you eat supper first when you don't know her. And then you show up and, because there's food everywhere.
I have to use like multiple tables.
And she's like still making things, and because she can't stop, and she just wants to make it all because she wants to eat it all.
And I want to try.
You want to
new
try
recipes.
Yes.
Like I want to discover new appetizers. And
Yeah.
like, speaking of which, can you put your favorite appetizer recipes in the comments below?
Yeah, I
Like,
want to know.
I am crazy about appetizers. It's my favorite thing. Actually, at my wedding, we had appetizers instead of a meal.
Oh, you've been like this for a long time.
Yes. I was like, yeah. Oh, and my daughter also asked for surprise spread, which, is kind of a classic. You might recognize that, although
You can't freeze it.
you can't freeze it, and she doesn't like the shrimp, and we don't top it with the mozzarella cheese, so we've adapted the recipe quite
There's
a
a few
bit.
different kinds of surprise spread.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a few different kinds.
This one doesn't have any surprise in it. But anyway, regardless, the original surprise spread that I know of is from Company's Coming, Jean Perret.
Mm-hmm.
And
if you're Canadian, you have her cookbooks
absolutely
in your cupboard
foil
somewhere.
bound.
Yes, absolutely, you
Yeah.
do. Yeah. And she's local. She's right here from Edmonton.
Is she?
Yes.
Oh, I think she was originally from Bakerville. Is that possible?
She might be, but the Company's Coming store is on the south side.
Headquarters? That's true.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so we have bacon wrapped everything to do for you today, and there's a few important things to know if you're going to make your bacon wrapped appetizers ahead, and we're going to share those with you, and we're going to get started.
Let's get started.
So the first thing we are going to make, of course, are the bacon wrapped water chestnuts.
They're a
Because
classic.
that's what my daughter asked for, and Christy's been making them forever too.
Forever.
So all you do is you take a can of whole water chestnuts. I will jump in here and say that they're getting very hard to find. You can find the sliced water chestnuts, no problem. The whole ones are getting harder and harder to find, but we have found a place that has them locally. And if not, we were thinking that you could put 2 sliced water chestnuts in each as an alternative if you can't find whole water chestnuts where you are. So what I like to do is I actually just open the can and drain it, and then I put my soy sauce right in the can because I don't like to mess with dishes, and so it saves me a dish.
The easiest thing to do.
I know it's like just one bowl, but it still saves me a dish.
Totally.
So I soak the water chestnuts in soy sauce right in the can, and you can soak them in there for a long time, because even overnight if you want to, because then they just soak that up, or 20 minutes is fine too. And then I cut my bacon in half and wrap a water chestnut in bacon. We're gonna put them on a metal cookie sheet lined with parchment paper, and then we're gonna freeze those because we don't want them to stick together when we put them in the bag. Once they're frozen, we're gonna transfer them into a freezer bag, get out all of the excess air, because air is what causes your freezer burn, and we don't want any of that this holiday season. And then on the day that you go to make these, you can just pop them into the oven on a tray, and once the bacon crisps up, they are ready.
You can't overcook a water chestnut.
No. No, so these are great. So easy. It's 3 ingredients.
Totally. Do you use the toothpick or no?
I don't often use the toothpick, but you can go ahead and freeze, stick these with the toothpick or not. The toothpicks freeze just fine, so.
Doesn't hurt the toothpick any. This recipe is barbecue bacon wrapped tater tot bites. It sounds a little strange, but I can guarantee you when you put this all together, it's going to be delicious. Start it with your tater tots. Take your bacon slices. You'll quarter them. You're going to need 3/4 cup of barbecue sauce, which you can make your own, or you can use whatever barbecue sauce you want. We're going to take each tater tot and put it in a bacon strip. Place the tater tots on the baking sheet, seam side down, and then brush with barbecue sauce. Then you can put them in your freezer to freeze individually. Then you can transfer them into your freezer bag. And on the day of cooking, you can just pop them right into the oven on a piece of parchment paper on your cookie sheet at 400 degrees and bake them until your bacon is crispy, maybe 20 minutes. And then when they come out, you can brush a little bit of additional barbecue sauce on them and then sprinkle your parsley on them for serving. Isn't that precious?
We have not tried this before.
I'm really curious.
It's a recipe from The Comfort of Cooking. We'll put the recipe in the description below.
Listen, I like tater tots. I like bacon. I like barbecue sauce. There is nothing wrong with what's going on here.
I think it's going to be, I was going to say super kid friendly, but now I'm like super Christy friendly.
Yeah, this is
I
great.
think we're gonna try them tonight, and we're gonna also make extra so that we can freeze them and have them for, you know, the holidays. But we're adapting the recipe only to the point of adding freezer instructions to it because, you know, otherwise this is kind of what she did here. Bacon wrapped blue cheese stuffed dates are also called devils on horseback.
Really?
Yeah, weird.
Okay.
But anyway, whichever name they go by, I think they're delicious. They're probably my favorite bacon wrapped thing. Pineapple's pretty good too.
Pineapple. Oh.
But anyway, they are really good. All you're gonna do is you take your date and you slice it down the middle.
These are pitted dates, like the dried ones that you buy in a bag, right?
Yes.
You know, they're not fresh.
Not fresh dates.
And they're not the brick of dates that you're going to stew up to put in something.
No. You're gonna take your
just your pitted
dates that you find in the baking section of your grocery store. You're gonna slice it almost all the way in half, and you're gonna stuff it with blue cheese. Now, when I make these in the summer, I can find these sliced blue cheese that go on top of burgers, and those work perfectly. They fit just perfectly in here. Like, it's just so easy. But in the winter, you can't really find those, so you're gonna have to, you know, do all the hard work of actually just portioning out some blue cheese, which is not
cut your blue cheese.
Yes, which is not that big of a deal. And then you're going to wrap this in bacon. It's really that simple. Again, like all the other things, we are going to freeze them flat on a cookie sheet before we transfer them into the freezer bag. I want to talk for a second about something not freezer related at all, because like Christy said, I love appetizers and I like to give you guys recipe ideas. So bacon, blue cheese makes me think of these other appetizers I make that are killer, right?
What are you talking about?
Like, they're so good.
So good, so simple.
They're so good.
They were a 3-ingredient appetizer. 4, I guess, with the
4.
cracker.
Okay, so you're gonna take a water cracker. It has to be a water cracker. Gonna place your water crackers down on your cookie sheet. We're not actually making this today because it doesn't freeze, but I'm just explaining it to you.
No, yeah.
You know, and my daughter that's having the birthday does not like blue cheese. Otherwise, we'd be making this for her appetizer night.
Totally.
You know.
Because I'm coming and I like them.
It's so good. So you're gonna put some blue cheese on top of your water cracker.
Just a little bit.
And then you're gonna cook up some caramelized onions. Just low and slow. Just cook those onions up and, you know, caramelize them. And then you're gonna top the blue cheese with that warm caramelized onion. So it kind of already is like melting the blue cheese. And then you top it with some crispy bacon. Crumbled. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Not like a giant piece of bacon. You got some crumbled crispy bacon. And then you put that in the oven for like 3 to 5 minutes.
Just to get it melty.
Yeah. And like, the water cracker kind of softens, but it still stays a little crisp, like crisp enough. And you've got the crunch from the bacon and the spice from the blue cheese and the
sweetness of the onion.
Oh, anyway.
They're good.
Can you tell I really like these? And I haven't had them in a really long time. Because, you know, with the pandemic and everything, we stopped entertaining as much. But we're back to, you know, some entertaining as like tonight and stuff. So those will have to go on the menu this holiday season.
We'll definitely need to see those for sure.
So not a freezer meal, but just another recipe for you to give a try.
Do you know what I was thinking of when you were talking about the dates? I went to, before the pandemic, I was going to a ladies' night and I said, I have to take an appetizer and I don't know what to take. And she said, okay, you take some dates and you cut them open like we're talking about with the bacon wrapped, stuff them with goat cheese and then sprinkle crushed pistachios on top. That's it.
They're delicious.
They're delicious and they went. Like I probably made 25 of them and there was like only 5 ladies there. And they were gone. 3
ingredients, again, simple, but like, so you've got the crunch, you've got the goat cheese, which is like
tangy and soft.
Yep.
And then the date, which is super sweet.
Yes.
Oh.
It's like a good balance. Very simple. So another holiday idea and it's got the green with the pistachios. Good for the holidays. They're pretty.
They're pretty. They were nice looking.
Yeah. So if you ever need appetizer ideas, you just give me a call and you're like, this is what I have and I'll invent some for you.
She totally will. Totally will. All right. We're going to get on to the next one. Bacon wrapped jalapenos. It's kind of a staple. You can buy them at Costco or at your frozen goods store.
Yeah, M&M Meats has them.
They totally do.
So this recipe you can find in our Freezer Meals 101 club. And for the club, we actually have been adding some appetizer recipes. We added a new category. The club allows you to print off your, like make a meal plan, print off your shopping list, your labels, your everything. It takes all of kind of the brain work out of freezer meals. Yes. But you know, this is not exactly freezer meals, it's appetizers, but for things like having things in your freezer so that when you've got company last minute or you've got holiday parties or whatever it is, you can grab it out, cook it, and like you look like the hostess with the most.
Yeah, you totally do. You look like you have it all together. But really, you did it weeks before.
Yeah, and so we've been adding some appetizer recipes into the club just recently because of the holidays coming up, and we'll be adding more.
And you can make your own meal plan that says holiday appetizers.
Absolutely.
And then bam, there's all your shopping list. Bam, there's all your prep, and bam, they are in your freezer.
With the labels.
With the labels.
So the bacon wrapped jalapenos are one of those.
Super easy. Super delicious. You're going to start with your jalapenos. Okay, did you know that there's this thing? Some people can do it. I'm going to tell on you because I'd never heard of this before.
Okay.
Charlotte has this ability. She's not a witch. She can hold a jalapeno in her hand and tell you how hot if it's going to be a hot one or if it's going to be a mild one. She's not the only person. It's a thing that people can do this.
I have a spot on my head.
I've never heard of this. She told me and I probably like fell over.
But you felt it, right? It gets hot.
Like your head gets hot? Yeah, I don't know if I felt her head.
I have a spot right here and it's... This sounds ridiculous, but I swear, come on over and check out my spot. No, don't. That'd be weird. But anyway, I have this spot in my head that kind of gets like, it sweats and gets hot if I'm holding
a spicy
pepper. And so, and I
can
feel
be
it.
Like chilies, it can be...
Yeah, any spicy pepper. Serranos, because I like the taste of serranos better than jalapenos. So, and I like spice. So for me, it's like if I'm going to make nachos, I'm like this one or this one. I can't be holding them at the same time, no? I know. It's super weird. It's super weird. And then I will pick the spicier one. Or sometimes it's so spicy and I'm like, oh, we got to stay away from that. Or like, we got to take this.
Or we have company coming and it's
like, that would
Christy
not be
can't
good.
eat that one.
No. And so
I have an okay spice tolerance, but nothing like you.
It's this weird superpower, which is not that super, but it's like super weird.
If you're going to have one, that's a pretty cool one.
It's weird.
It's weird.
I think I got it from... like genetically, I think I got it from my dad, but he has no spice tolerance. But he like his whole head sweats if he eats spicy food. I don't get like that, and eating it gives me no problems. But it's like the holding it, I don't know, like osmosis or whatever.
And you can tell.
And I can tell, and I don't know when I figured it out.
So she's standing at the grocery store.
Yeah. And I always have jalapenos at home.
Always.
But getting them for this recipe was difficult. I had to go to several stores because they were in bad shape, and there was one of them had no jalapenos at all. And so we were really determined to bring you this recipe.
Apparently. Absolutely. It's good. It's good. It'll be nice to have. So, okay, you're going to take your bacon and cut it in half so it's only half as long. You're going to slice the stems off your jalapenos and cut those lengthwise. And you're going to remove the seeds and the membranes. Did you know jalapenos had membranes? You're going to mix your cheese and your pepper up. And then you're going to fill your pepper with some of the cream cheese mixture. And then you're going to but you don't want to overfill it because the cheese will bubble and expand a bit. And we don't want it to boil over while it's baking. So you're going to wrap each pepper with your half strip of bacon. And then we're going to put them on the cookie sheet and freeze them flat. So then once they're frozen, we can transfer them to a large resealable freezer bag. You can also put them onto smaller trays and freeze them. So when you take them out of the freezer, you can cook these ones from frozen. They can just go straight into the oven at 450. Or if you have them in the bag, you just transfer them to a cookie sheet. These ones are nice to have on the wire rack on your cookie sheet, on the baking rack, because then the bacon gets crispy on the bottom too. And I think that goes for all of these recipes. We could probably do that. And then you want to put them on a paper towel before you serve them because they get a little greasy. But super delicious. The cheese is just right. The jalapeno is just right. The bacon is just right. I just bought my very first ever cooking rack for my cookie sheet. I don't know why I never had one before.
I don't own a wire rack, and I should.
So I got it at Winners for $16, and then I went to Bed Bath & Beyond, because they would be better, for $47. Whoa. So I went back to Winners, and I'm like, same darn thing. And so I bought two of them.
Yeah.
And yes, and because I have wire racks for cooling my baking, but they are the non-stick, and they have the little feet on them. So they wouldn't go nicely in the oven. They're Pampered Chef. They're good, but I wouldn't want to put it in the oven. So these ones, they're just stainless steel, and they go in your cookie sheet.
And do they have little feet on them?
They have little feet on them. And you can spray it with cooking spray. And you should totally go get some.
I think I might need to invest in this.
I will show you mine. But
I might need to borrow one of those wire racks tonight.
Yes, you do.
So that's it. Full disclosure, I was going to make this a bacon appetizers video and do a cheese ball that's like covered in cooked bacon, kind of this play on like baked potato, and it was going to have green onions and cheese and all the things. But I didn't have time to adapt a recipe for that and really figure out exactly what I wanted. So that'll have to be next year's holiday appetizer. We are going to do some more holiday appetizers this year, and we are doing some mini cheese balls that are really great. And so I figured we already have a cheese ball coming and whatever. So this ended up just being bacon wrapped everything, which is kind of hilarious. But whatever, here we are. Let us know in the comments if you've got great appetizer recipes, because I want to know. And I want to try them because I'm always looking for new appetizers. And let us know.
I want her to try them so I get to come over and try them.
Absolutely.
I don't really make them.
No,
I just come over and eat them.
Yeah, we have like games nights, and
we totally do.
Just have appetizers, and it's so many appetizers that it's the full meal, like it's supper.
Yes, we definitely come away full, and it's delicious.
Don't eat supper before you come.
No.
And if you have a bacon wrapped,
what else can you wrap in bacon?
Tell us.
You can wrap pineapple in bacon, but we didn't think it would freeze well.
Your D's delights. We talked about this.
We talked about this.
But we decided it wouldn't freeze.
Quick story. We were on holidays in Moab, Utah. We are 4x4 people. So we had taken our ATVs down there and met some friends from Colorado. And we were in a campground, and my husband came and knocked on the door, and he said, Christy, I met these people. They're from South Dakota, I think, and they're having a little potluck, and you have to come eat this. And so I went over and I met these people that he had made friends with, because he meets everybody in the campground when we go. And so what they were, it was white bread, and she spread it with cream cheese, and then she rolled it up and wrapped it in bacon and then baked it. It wouldn't freeze. We don't think it'll freeze.
No, because we think it'll get soggy.
It'll get soggy. Mm-hmm. But it crisps up, and it's, maybe a little salt and pepper. But really, it's bread, cream cheese, and bacon. And she's been making it for years. And he said, well, what do you call this? Because I was going to try Google it, right? And what do you call this? And she said, well, I don't really have a name for it. But her name was Dee. And he said, well, I'm going to call it Dee's Delights. And so I've been talking about Dee's Delights for many years. Thank you, Dee from South Dakota. Bacon wrapped bread and cream cheese is delicious.
So
it's like the Minnesota goodbye.
Thank you.
Stand at the door for 3 hours and talk some more.
Thank you so much for joining us today while we made bacon wrapped all the things.
Bacon wrapped all
We're
the
gonna
things.
stick a video right there to some holiday appetizers that I made last year. Mm-hmm. We are going to be making another holiday appetizer video this year and some dips. We're doing all kinds of holiday things. So make sure you subscribe to our channel.
Absolutely.
So that you can see all of those videos, and we can help you with your everyday meals and your holiday ones. Happy cooking.
Bye.